Hey peeps, welcome to my channel, The Lazy Llama. So I'm just going to go through 10 things that no one told me about pregnancy before I became pregnant. So they might sound a bit silly to you, but honestly I didn't really know much about kids or anything to do with babies before I became pregnant. I was quite child averse. So yeah, number one, how weird feeling a kick or a movement would be. So seeing it, it was pretty much like your tongue moving around your cheek, just like this. So yeah, it was like that. Feeling it was like a completely different story. I wanted to run and hide, but it's like I knew I couldn't because wherever I'm going, I'm taking this with me. So I literally felt like I was gonna have an alien just burst out of me at any point. And yeah, it was quite frightening. I actually did cry a little bit at one point because of how weird it felt, but then I started to love it and just embrace it and accept it. So yeah, that was number one. Number two, morning sickness. Now, I was always under the impression that morning sickness lasted maybe a few days. It was just like something that you get after you're pregnant as a sign that something's about to happen. But yeah, so my morning pregnancy sickness, as they call it now, lasts about 3 weeks. So yeah, that was it. A few things made me sick or made me feel sick. So I would say, like, for instance, not really foods. I didn't really get put off any foods, but well, except trifle. But I would walk into my parents' house and literally want to gag because of their air freshener. Like I just hated it. I just all of a sudden just hated it. They had this air freshener at the front of the hallway, at the front entrance, and yeah, just couldn't stand being in their house because of that. Number three, you don't always have cravings. Now, I just thought, okay, everybody that becomes pregnant craves something. I don't know, jelly, sand. I've had weird ones like petrol. I know somebody that ate those dishwasher tablets. Wow. But yeah, I thought I'd crave something, but you know, good thing I didn't crave banknotes because I would have been thoroughly unimpressed. Number four, you get a hairy stomach. Now, this might not apply to everybody, but for me, all the nutrients and everything was going off, obviously, to the womb, to the uterus. So it was no surprise that I would have hair growing there. And yeah, so I started to get a hairy stomach, and I'm hairy anyway, so, but I just became hairy in my stomach. So yeah. Number five, hair in other places took longer to grow back. Now that was like, I was really happy about that. Like I would get a wax or a bikini or a Hollywood even, and it would take ages to grow back. Like normally when I'd get these things done, give it a day or two and there'll be stubble there. Literally I'd be a beast within a week again. So yeah, that was cool. And on top of that, my nails broke a lot. Like they're okay now after I've given birth. My body's had time to get back into this normal motions, and but yeah, my nails were breaking all the time. Number six, how pissed off you get not being able to sleep on your stomach. Like I am a side sleeper, but I like to sleep on my stomach, you know, with one leg sort of bent and then the other one's just like straight. But yeah, I couldn't do that. I could only sleep on my side, and they always recommend that you sleep on your left side, something to do with circulation and the blood reaching the baby, etc. But I just slept on my left side, on my right side, on my back, and it's recommended that you do not sleep on your back, but I did. It was the only way I could be comfortable without sleeping on my front sometimes. So that was that. Number seven, now don't get me wrong, a lot of people did give up their seat for me on the tube and the bus, but a lot of people didn't as well. But I didn't mind. I like standing sometimes, but a lot of times I did notice that people would see me, see that I'm pregnant, see that I've got this massive belly, and even that I look tired sometimes, and then still not offer their seat or anything like that. Whatever, didn't really bother me. And number eight, nothing really goes to plan. So my initial intention was to have a water birth, only because I didn't really hear much about it, but it sounded cool. And then I read up about it and found that, you know, you're going to be more relaxed if you're in the water, etc., etc. So that was what I wanted to do, have a water birth in the hospital. And then slowly but surely I decided, do I really want a water birth? Because I heard other mothers' experiences of it. They would say, you know, the water wasn't at the right temperature, which made them more tense, which made the birth not progress as easily as it should have done. So I just decided kind of like, maybe this isn't for me. And I wanted to have the suite, the hospital suite. I think they have like two different rooms that are supposed to be really nice, of home from home. But when I went to view them, I didn't really feel comfortable giving birth there. Like, don't get me wrong, they did look really nice, and I can see why they would call it home from home. Like, it's decorated nicely, it's got a nice ambiance, but it wasn't comfy for me. To me, it didn't really feel like home. So I decided to have a home birth, and that all went out the window when I went in. I started having contractions, and the only reason I went into the hospital is because I felt like I had reduced fetal movement. So it was only then that they told me I was 5 centimeters dilated and in labor. So yeah, so nothing goes to plan. Even after you give birth, nothing goes to plan. Like, you could say, yeah, I'm gonna do this that day, do that day, get out at this time, and now still nothing goes to plan. So yeah, you'll be leaving your house 2 hours later than you originally planned. So those are my 8 things. I'm sorry if I said 10 things at the beginning. I think I said 10 things at the beginning. Sorry, it's actually 8. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you watch my next video. Thank you, bye.